Hey guys, Lawrence here, and today we're looking at a bike that I received for testing about 5 weeks ago. But first I broke the bike, and then a couple of weeks later I actually broke myself in a race. So yeah, anyway, let's look at the bike. I haven't really ridden it much, but I can at least tell you about some specs and stuff. So here it is. This is the Trek Powerfly LT. It's the LT9, so spec wise that does give you some really nice extras. So first of all, as you can maybe see already, this is an aluminium frame, not a carbon fiber bike like the last e-bike that I tried, but then it's also more affordable. It's a Bosch based system, so not Shimano like the last e-bikes that I've tested, but again, that has its benefits as well. Also, more importantly, this thing comes with massive tires by Bontrager, of course, 2.8s front and rear, and a lot of travel. They don't call this the long travel LT for nothing. So this is a Fox Float 36 with the grip damper in there. It's an e-bike specific one. Oh, that's difficult holding the gimbal with one hand. And then maybe, and this is probably important as well, this is a 650B bike. So it doesn't come with the big wagon wheels. It's a 650B bike. Now, what that means is, in theory, it should be a little bit more playful. It should also be a little bit lighter, although, you know, with the big tires and everything, weight really isn't a point, especially with aluminium e-bikes. What I really like with this bike is this down tube design. So sure, it has this massive Trek logo on there, as you can see. And in there is the battery. So the battery is like semi-hidden. It's not like bolted on like with the first couple of e-mountain bikes that we saw. It's properly integrated, but on the other side, if I can figure out how to get there, on the other side, right there is a little keyhole, and you can just twist the key and then the battery will pop out. Like literally, you have to hold your hand there or the battery will fall on the ground, but it just pops out, which is really handy if you need to charge indoors, for example. So as I said, Fox Float Performance 36 e-bike specific fork. And then in the rear we have a RockShox shock, and this is like the first of a few things that I find a bit weird when it comes to the parts on this bike. So we have Fox up there, RockShox over here, Bosch, Shimano, and then if we just go a little bit further, we also have SRAM. So like no brand is left out with this bike. It's a mix of all brands. And to be honest, I don't really mind it all that much. So first of all, the XT 4-pot brakes, I kind of really like them. If my camera would focus on them, that would be so awesome. But I really like these brakes. They're very consistent, easy to get used to, pretty consistent bite point. And yeah, just kind of like how they feel. It comes with massive rotors, as you can see, and also these Ice Tech pads on there. So overheating really hasn't been an issue, but then I haven't really ridden it for long, and the time I did ride it was in the snow, so yeah, can't really comment on that very much. And then the drivetrain is the Bosch Performance CX with SRAM EX cranks in the front. Don't mind these plastic pedals, I don't actually ride those. And then we have a GX derailleur and a GX cassette. So it's not a full GX, but what we do get is a single click shifter. Now these single click shifters, they're awesome for not snapping your chain. They're not so awesome when you completely missed a turn and you're in the completely wrong gear. That's when they kind of suck, but you know, you're not going to snap chains. I guess that's nice. What I can also say is nice dropper post on here, 150 mils of travel. It is a Bontrager dropper post. It's not really branded or anything, but it does the job. It's cable actuated, so pretty easy to set up as well. Although something I do have to mention, but this is probably because the guy before me broke it, but like there's quite some play in there. Probably just have to set that up myself. As I said, I just got this bike effectively. It's been in a bike shop for 5 weeks. Now, the cockpit area, it comes with a pretty long stem actually. So a lot of people nowadays run incredibly short stems. This one's quite long, and the bars, they're not super wide either, so it's a fairly traditional cockpit setup when it comes to sizing and stuff. The grips are lock-on grips, so thumbs up there. Lock-on grips are much better than push-on grips. However, what I don't know yet is how I'm going to set up the dropper post so that I don't hit my thumb on it, because there's also this giant Bosch screen. I much prefer the Shimano setup when it comes to that, and especially the Specialized setup where there's just no screen. Now let's move on to the tires. I briefly mentioned them, but these are the Bontrager or Bontrager XR4s in a whopping 2.8 wide. Tubeless ready wheels and tires, but it comes with tubes from the factory, probably because otherwise they start leaking or the stuff just gets hard before it gets to you. In the rear, Team Issue XR4 as well. Great tires actually, I kind of like them, but they are mounted on these oh, that's not how the gimbal works. Yeah, broke the gimbal. Sorry guys. Reset and let's move on. So the wheels, the rims are pretty wide, so it gives the tires a very lovely profile. Nice and flat up top, but with like a very broad and very well biting shoulder, so it really digs in well. Now, as I said, I've only ridden it for maybe an hour in the snow, so I don't really have a lot of experience on this bike yet. We'll see about that next weekend and this weekend, when I intend to actually film a lot of content, test ride it a lot, and then of course do the actual video review on this bike as well. Now, the real reason I do this video, other than just trying out my gimbal, which is obviously not going very well, is because I want to know what sort of questions you guys have. Do you have questions about the geometry? By the way, this is a 21.5 inch frame, so it's as long as it gets. It is actually pretty long, and the standover height is okay, but the seat post sticks up pretty high. But anyway, any questions you have about this bike, please let me know in the comments below, and then I'll get to those in the actual review, so that, you know, if you decide to subscribe to this channel, you actually know the answer to the questions you ask, and I could also just reply to them in the comments, of course. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Oh my god, this is heavy. I'm gonna try and get back in frame myself, but that was pretty much it. I'm now gonna ride home, hopefully before it gets dark, and edit this video and upload it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.